All right, hey everyone, Christian here from CK Wraps. So today we're going to wrap the rear bumper of this 2015 Camaro in Vivid Matte Metallic Black. Gorgeous color. We've done an inlay in the rear license plate area, just so you can see there. That way there's no overstretching in these corners right here. We'll take the film afterwards and we'll trim it, and then we'll flap the flaps inward. That way it'll be completely stress-free. If you want to see more videos on how to wrap cars or anything else, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click subscribe up top. Also check out our Instagram, Facebook, and our website. We've got detailed pictures, videos, all kinds of stuff on there. We're even running contests, and we have some sponsorships going on. So we have 5 full vehicle wrap sponsorships. So check those out. There's some really, really awesome cars coming up. One of them being a Mustang. I know a lot of you wanted to see some Mustang stuff. So we got one of those coming up, and actually a newer generation Camaro. Anyways, we'll get to all that later. So what we're going to do here is we're going to wrap the bumper. I've prepped the surface already, blowing away all the contaminants. I have magnets ready. They're sitting right here on the top of the trunk. So I have those ready to go. So what I want to do is take this film and stick it down, obviously. You got to watch out for these tailpipes. They're pretty mean. All right. So we're going to stick one side down. We'll take the film, bring it around to the other side. So we're going to get everything lined up right now. We will have to cut out these tailpipe sections because they're just really in the way right now. And I'm not about to remove the exhaust to be able to work around it better. So we'll just work around it. All right. So I'm going to actually do that right now. We're going to take the film and we're always going to cut it in a circular motion, or in a circular shape, sorry. That's so no tearing happens, okay? If we cut this straight and then come straight down, there's a good chance that the film will tear or the backing will tear when we go to remove it. So we just come down in and around in gradual swoops, okay? So we have a better accessibility over here. Just gonna find the top of the exhaust tip. Okay, we're gonna work around this one also. Perfect. So that works. These pieces are scrap, I don't need them. Now look at that. Drops right in there. Let's check out the other side. I might have to trim a little bit more. It's actually a little lower here. Let's go a little more on this side. I don't really like trimming the vinyl out because it kind of throws it off when we go to stretch it or glass it out across the bumper. So, but sometimes we do have to cut it to work around things. So we're going to start by removing the backing. Now make sure that when we remove the magnets and we stick them back down that we don't leave them on panels that have already been wrapped for too long. It will leave marks. So I'd say like 5 minutes is pushing it, so we don't want to leave it on long at all. Now remember, I'm removing the backing alone here. So we have to roll the backing paper. Try not to get yourself behind it. Let's get this back into position because I know it came lower. All right, let's get those magnets back down over here. And let's continue. Removing this. Let me cut this off actually here, hold on. Lost one blade. There we go. in the way. I'm going to have to actually swing it around a little bit more because the exhaust is just getting in the way of the paper. All right, there we go. So we're just going to get that kind of into place. Nothing serious right now. We'll fix that all up in a minute. We can take the backing paper and continue. Probably run into the same problem over here. Let's see. You get it up higher here. Doesn't really matter actually because right now I can take the entire piece off on the other side and continue the removal of the backing paper. All right, so I'm going to glass this a little bit right now. Fix that up still. So we're going to kind of set it where we need it, and we're going to glass it. Let's do this side. So I'm pulling on it. You can see I'm pulling on it. I'm not killing it, but I'm giving it a good pull. So we need to release all those wrinkles. All right. Start squeegeeing somewhere around the middle here. You have to work the air out this way and this way. Don't work your vinyl in, always work out. If I lift the bottom here, you can actually tuck in a little bit easier. Keep your angle pretty much going right along with the film. I never put my squeegee like this in squeegee. I always put my squeegee more flat to the angle of where the air is. So if the line, if you can see the line of air right there, I'm just going to finish squeegeeing this out before I get there, but it's like this one's actually very, very noticeable. We have to think about slicing across with the squeegee. So we're going to take our vinyl and overlap our strokes very much like that, okay? These bubbles here, go down on them. So you might find that air starts to bunch up, sorry for the airplane. Air starts to bunch up around the corners here, that's because it's tighter. So it's trapping air. That's nothing to really worry about right now, it's totally fine. We're gonna be glassing this around afterwards, and if you do get any bubbles, you can push down on them. Okay, so the air will start to get trapped around these edges here. Consider this to be a hard edge, as that's a hard edge. So we basically took the air that was in here and we worked it out this way and out this way, as opposed to going up and down, because these two, this is a hard edge and this is a hard edge, so it's kind of trapped in between here. Again, we have a hard edge down here, so what we need to do is take the film and give it some breathing space, okay? By giving it some breathing space, it allows the air to come out much easier. So, if you ever have trouble getting air out, all you gotta do is pop the film up a little bit and the air will come out much easier. So I might need to use a heat gun around these corners. The bend is not crazy, but it's good enough. So I may have to use a bit of heat. We'll find out in a second. When I'm coming around the bend here, I'm going to be stretching the film this way, so vertically and horizontally at the same time. I got to spread everything out. You can grab here, and that will help. Okay? I ripped it. It's fine. That'll help. So this is why you always cut a little extra film. If you rip it, it's not going to be on the surface of where it has to go down on the panel. All right, so there we go. I haven't even used a heat gun yet. Pop that up and get a couple of these more firm wrinkles out of here. All right, so let's finish. Let's continue working the air. Push down on these. Let's try to work it down to this pocket here, okay? All right, so we can. See how I just cut across with the squeegee? Your squeegeeing technique you'll get better at with practice. But you're always going to be coming across and leaving a nice even line, kind of like an arch, or just keep it straight even. Don't make it all wonky and all zigzag. It's going to just make it much more difficult for you in the end. Let's go all the way over here. I'm going to get this side down right now. Always got to be thorough, so be careful and make sure that you're getting full coverage with the squeegee itself. So no heat gun yet. We're doing a bumper without a heat gun today, and this will probably be about, I don't know, I'm going to say 45, 50 minutes. I gotta shrink the vinyl a little bit over here. In 1 sec. I'm gonna cut off all the excess that I have that's kind of around the tire. Not much to see here. I just want to show you the bend, so I'm just gonna finish this off. Okay. Just gotta blast it out a little bit here. I just had too many wrinkles coming around the bottom, so this is just helping to get rid of all of that. Use the hard edge once we get to the edge. All right. I'll swing around to the other side in just a moment. I'll have to pre-shrink this first, actually, also, because we stretched it across the top. So, because I've stretched all of this should shrink back a little bit. Perfect. That's about all I needed to do. And I'm just going to hold it up. Hold it up just for the air to come out a little bit easier. to the other side. So I can actually show you, I did that side without heat, I can show you where we're going to heat on this side. I'll turn the heat gun back on. It's not that sticky, I'm just pulling it with 2 fingers. It sounds a lot more aggressive than it actually is. So when we heat, we're just going to heat in a large area, kind of around the top here, a little bit around the bottom. We just want to give the film a little more pliability. Now we don't want to heat over in this area here where it's touching and where it's already laid down, okay? That will most likely cause a mark in the film, and you might see color discoloration. So we're trying to heat not too close to that line. So now you can see how much easier it is to glass it with a little bit of heat. All right? Perfect. So let's turn this off. Let's continue across. And again, create some relief here. So there's the edge. There's the bottom plastic piece, and it meets right about here. So not too difficult, guys. Bumpers do vary. This is why I'm showing you multiple different bumpers. We've done one with an inlay on the top section. Now we're doing this one with an inlay and license plate area. We've done another one with an inlay and license plate area. I actually never showed you the wrap on that bumper, but I just showed you how to put the inlay on that Mitsubishi clips that rear bumper with the template on the license plate area. So let me cut off, I have my blades over there, cut off the excess around the tire. Being careful, obviously, not to cut anything but the film itself. I'm just going to lift it up here and allow the air to escape more naturally. Let's do the top. Finish off the bottom here. Again, I'm just going to give it a little shrink here and relax it before we get down to the edge. And I want to hold it because the film is a little bit warm and the film will block air in. It'll trap air if it's too warm. So it's heat activated adhesive. Perfect. Let's do the top. Okay. Let's shrink it back. Watch how I do the squeegee, back and forth, fluid motions. And that is how we lay the bumper as far as laying the vinyl goes. Now, we're going to do some trimming now. So I don't need the heat gun for a little bit. Finish off a bit up here. when I have really fine wrinkles, I tend to use the harder side of the squeegee, okay? It's good for pushing those wrinkles right out. Now, I don't use the harder side of the squeegee in the middle of the car or in the middle of the panel because it can leave marks. So just keep that in mind when we're using the harder side of the squeegee, okay? But it's good for getting into the tight recesses and getting wrinkles out for sure. Fantastic. So, I'll drop my blade. Let's do some trimming. Drop that down. This, we need an inlay on the inside right here. It's a small, very, very small piece because we wouldn't stretch the film into that little crack there. Instead, we would do an inlay. So I'm going to cut on the opposing panel because I've actually masked it off. There's a little fog or side marker here. I've already taken it out. And I double layer the tape. Throw that over there. Same deal here, we'll need a little inlay on the inside here. And we'll bring that in. I'll use the hard edge of the squeegee to continue to push the wrinkles out instead of using heat. So sometimes you have to use heat to get the wrinkles out, other times you don't. You'll get a feel for that. Get that in there. All right. Let's wrap that around. Cool. Just trim off some excess here. Again, I don't want to hurt anything. So being careful when we're cutting is very important. I've said it before, it's not always possible to use knifeless. Let's get that out of the way to finish off this. Try not to drop your knife. And then if you drop it, don't try to catch it. All right. It's pretty hot. Same deal here. Up there. That way we have some slack now. Cut and cut along the side marker and tuck some of that in. Come up on the place that I masked off again and run the blade right out. let's make sure that we have this film tucked in, okay? Before we do any cutting. You will screw yourself over if you haven't tucked the film in enough. So just put a little cut there to help make this a bit easier. I did not mask off this rear diffuser, so I should have, so that I don't cut on the rear diffuser. So I'm doing my best. I'm not going to cut on the rear diffuser, but I'm working around it, which is a little more tedious. If I had masked it, I wouldn't have to worry about it as much cutting this film off of it. So we'll have to be a little more cautious. All right, so I'm gonna start down here. I'm gonna run my blade in the recess because there's this perfect little spot where the blade just sits. Cut off some excess here. I'll hold the film out while I cut that off. Same deal over here, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this up again right here. And I'm just going to kind of poke a hole and bring my blade out. Don't cut yourself. But I'm only doing this because, doing it that way because I didn't put masking tape on the rear diffuser. Otherwise I would have just trimmed right on the top edge of this, and then I would have stuffed everything in there. Would have been a lot easier. Making sure always that we're being thorough. Okay? Roll that around. Finishing off the inner edge here, all we do is take our blade and we fold the film over on, completely overlap that inner edge, making sure that we have full coverage. And all we do is run the back of our blade on the back edge of that bumper. Super easy to cut, okay? Screw fell here, it's from the splash guard, so I'm just gonna put it here with the rest. All right, so let's finish this off. Make sure that it's fully covered. Push that back in there. I think I pulled it out a little bit. There we go. Again, the blade should just glide, find a sweet spot. I like to lift the car also, front and back. It helps a lot when we're doing bumpers, especially when we're glassing them, or we're laying them out initially. It's a huge difference having the bumper up on an angle like this. All right. I'm going to come across the top here, making sure that we have still full coverage. I'm going to take my blade and I'm cutting in free space right now. Okay. I'm also going to take the blade and cut down the middle. now, like I mentioned earlier, we have these tabs that kind of just fold in here. I'm going to cut off some more of this excess film. It's in the way. Way too much. Still too much here. Again, cut off some excess film. Now, we have to make sure we do this right, where we're not overstretching it, but we're contouring the film properly. Actually not that hard at all. Just add a little tension to it. And I don't need any knifeless tape because I'm going to be cutting film over film right now. So all I want to do is score that top layer. I don't want to cut through that top layer, and just gently scoring it, okay? Let's tuck in over here. Perfect. So, same deal. I want to kind of contour that in there a bit. I'm going to give it a bit of a stretch, nothing crazy. There we go. Just to balance it out. Because it isn't actually as flat as I think it might be. Work film in there. Again, got it tucked in here, let's trim off the bottom. And let's do up here, get this last bit out. Over that top piece. And there we have that. We're almost done right here. We just got to do, add any crazy stretch to it. I'm just going to come in with the film a little bit, far enough where I can cut on the opposite side of the bumper. Okay, that's that. No heat again. Perfect. Do this side. Perfect. Same deal. So we're just going to go over the edges. I'll finish up this side here around the fender, and then I'm going to go over all of the edges with a bit of heat. I'm going to swing out the bumper slightly here. So I can swing, I left the bumper unclipped on this side so that I can tuck in really nicely, cut on the top edge here, leaving about 1/4 of an inch wrapped on the inside, and it makes the corner on the very end much easier to do. And you'll see that in a moment. So I don't have a camera person here today. Just me teaching you. Then we're cutting on the back side. I don't know if I cut off the excess on top here yet. No, I didn't. So let's do that. So we can't leave too much film on the top section this time because there are clips, and you don't want to cover the holes of those clips. So I'm going to go over with a touch of heat and the glove, and we're done. So I'll cut out these little holes here. These are completely covered. There's magnets here. These are completely covered. So whether you wrap inside there or not, not a big deal. They are completely covered. Always, always, always go over your edges with a bit of heat afterwards. Just kind of help seal it off, clean it up. Push that in there because the bumper's actually clipped in right there. I can reach it with my thumb. I'll cut those guys out after. Again, keep doing all this. Let's get in there a bit. So this is an important stage of the wrap, okay guys? You don't want to wrap the whole car and then an edge start to lift because you didn't post heat. So just do the post heat. That took 2 minutes. So, the diffuser fitment looks like it's off even though I didn't take it off, but maybe it's just bumped into something before. But that is the bumper. So I'm going to show you it. It's been 39 minutes with the intro and everything else. So you can see there's an inlay down there. There you go. You can see it slightly, all right? So you can see that slight inlay. Same thing. Oh, there's a little bit of air up there. I'll fix that after. I can still fix it. All right. So just so you know, I only wrapped in about 1/8 of an inch, okay? I don't want to cover these holes, is what I was talking about earlier. Let's go down here. All right. We'll check out the other side. Same deal. Just a nice straight cut all the way down. It's got a little dust on it and a little sweat, but other than that, it's how you do it. So I will stick that there. All right. So with the inlay, which probably took like 5 minutes, the whole bumper's done in under 50 minutes. We're sitting at 41 minutes right now. So I hope that helps a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot of different bumpers, a lot of different ways to do bumpers. There's bumpers with more steep inclines on the top or on the bottom, or both. Some are like bubbles, some are like blocks, some have more flatness to them. This is actually pretty flat, so it's actually not that hard. This is actually a pretty easy bumper. Other than you just have to know you have to do an inlay in here. That's about it. So as long as you know to do an inlay in here, this bumper's a piece of cake. Also the 2 little inlays right here and here. So that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you guys want to check out more, please hit the subscribe button on the top. Because I always post more. Like I said, we have 5 sponsorship vehicles coming in. Those are going to be pretty awesome because they're all going in unique colors. And I'll do some videos on those. Anyways, thanks everyone. Take care.